Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Tasmanians could find out tomorrow whether we are headed for an early election. The Premier meeting with Cabinet colleagues to discuss an early poll. Our embattled health system and uncertain business conditions are potential headline election topics. So too, recent child sexual abuse revelations.
With the Premier weighing up an early poll, Tasmanians are in limbo.
The Premier is very concerned about the fact that two people who were elected as Liberals and as part of a majority Liberal government have taken themselves to the crossbench.
He threatens people that he's going to go to the polls. They stand up to him. He goes weak at the knees.
Tasmania's business community is still hoping we avert an early election, but say if it's coming, they want to see a party with plans for public investment elected.
And all the money that they earn ends up going to our hairdressers and our takeaways and our restaurants and our clothing shops and our services.
I believe health will be the number one issue at this state election, and rightfully so. Tasmanians are sick and tired of hearing on the news every night about the situation getting worse and worse.
The Health Services Union lamenting hospital pharmacy programs being cancelled amid a 30% vacancy rate, blaming pay and staff morale.
Someone gets a job offer, what are they going to do? They're going to jump ship at the earliest opportunity.
Just months ago, a seismic report into cover-ups of child sexual abuse in government institutions was revealed. Many of those affected still hanging on to the Premier's promise to leave no stone unturned in holding those responsible to account.
To not follow through on these promises and to call an election would be a final and, I think, quite dangerous betrayal.
Whistleblower Alicia says child safety should be front and centre during the election, with much to do.
The urgent closure of Ashley and the scrutinising and getting answers and accountability for what has already taken place.
With the battle for votes just starting, who knows what else an election campaign might throw up. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
The new $15 million helipad for the Launceston General Hospital is expected to be operational by the middle of the year. Construction is well underway, with the helipad set to be transported to the LGH site at the end of this month.
Putting the pieces together. The new helipad for the Launceston General Hospital being constructed here at Haywards in Western Junction. Being built in 9 modules, the aluminium helideck will be 27 metres by 27 metres when put together.
We've been able to provide all the support structure for the helipad, which is now in place. And the second part is to take delivery of 7 or 8 40-foot containers with a lot of pieces of aluminium work.
The helipad, once completed, will be considered one of the best in Australia.
We've made sure that the helipad's able to take in the larger Victorian choppers, currently larger than used in Tasmania, but also likely to be the standard of helicopter used in Tasmania in the future.
240 employees from Voss Construction and Joinery are working on the construction project. Subcontractors, Haywards, have 35 on the job, working together to make it happen.
It's really exciting and it's probably a once-in-a-generation project for some of our people, especially working with materials such as this aluminium product that we haven't seen before. We're really excited to be part of it.
Health Minister Guy Barnett visited Haywards today to check on the platform's progress. He's keen for the helipad to be fitted to the rooftop of the LGH as soon as possible, with the current landing site at Launceston Airport 12 kilometres away from the hospital.
There will be an aero bridge from the helipad straight to the Launceston General Hospital to get the healthcare they need as soon as possible.
Each finished module will be relocated to the LGH over 3 nights with a transport escort. In January last year, the Health Department was forced to stop landing air ambulances on this helipad beside the hospital after the Civil Aviation Authority deemed it unsafe to do so. Melinda Ogden, 7 Tasmania News.
The Greens say our state's clean green brand is at risk thanks to native forest logs being carted on the Spirit of Tasmania. Releasing photos of the trucks, they say the livelihoods of tourism operators in the Tarkine are being threatened.
The reality is the tourism sector has been lamenting not having key attractions, not being able to draw people to the far northwest of Tasmania.
We need native forests to remain standing. That is the most valuable way that we can use them.
Deputy Premier Michael Ferguson says the greatest threat to the tourism is a potential Labor Green government. Tasmanians are being urged to be prepared to activate their fire plan as firefighters brace for dangerous conditions. The warning comes in the wake of blazes at Gordon and Dolphin Sands in the past 24 hours. Both have now been contained and are being monitored. The fire service is already looking ahead with high temperatures and strong winds forecast for tomorrow.
That's going to extend to high fire danger in the Midlands and up and down the east coast. So we're still getting those type of days that can cause us a lot of concern.
Campers are being reminded to ensure they properly extinguish their fires. The TFS has also put a hold on issuing permits in the north and south until Thursday. Well, we don't yet know when a state election will be, but the battles have already begun. Labor Prosser candidate Brian Green has taken aim at Liberal incumbent Jane Howlett's truck and trailer side signs, referring them to the Tasmanian Electoral Commission. He's claiming when left by the roadside, they're essentially fixed signs, which can only be placed 8 weeks before the polling date.
We could have hundreds of these signs up and down the Midland Highway, up and down this road, all over Tasmania, because they've got wheels under them. It's just ridiculous.
If he would only spend a bit more time on his own campaign rather than worrying about registered trailers on private property, obviously Jane Howlett's got him very worried.
Liberal State Director Peter Coulson says the party's engaging with one council who asked it to be removed. This year's Super Bowl spectacle didn't disappoint Tasmanian fans, pubs filling up with Kansas City and San Francisco supporters, Swifties and those just wanting to lap up the atmosphere.
Beers flowing and wings served hot as NFL fans pull up a seat in front of the nearest, biggest screen and choose their side.
I don't need to guess what team you're supporting.
Let's go on the 49ers, so obviously everyone's either a Swiftie or not a Swiftie, and I'm not a Swiftie.
What do you reckon? Kansas City!
These tourists from Philadelphia choosing theirs too.
Kansas City, our former coach, the brother of our center.
They're taking ownership here.
I will. I will.
How are the wings compare to the ones back home?
Pretty good.
The game didn't disappoint. Still a show to behold despite being 13,000 kilometres from Vegas.
It's grand final day for the NFL. I mean, we know AFL grand final day, but NFL, it's just as big. Unfortunately, it's at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, but we still get to enjoy it.
A public holiday in the south, fans in the north still fighting their way to a bar.
Did my roster so that I could take this day off maybe 6 or 7 months ago.
You don't need to know football to enjoy the biggest show on earth.
I've got no idea about the game actually, but I'm just here to just to get into the groove. Yeah, they just scored a touchdown. Is that what they're called?
Touchdown. Nailing it. I'm just here for Taylor Swift. Just a big Taylor Swift fan.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The Royal Hobart Yacht Regatta has wrapped up for another year with the popular Come and Try session among the many final day activities. Organisers say the future of the time-honoured event lies with getting Tasmanian youth interested in water sports.
Day off school, warm weather in the air. Today was a day for families to make a splash.
3, 2, 1.
Everyone having their own reasons for taking a plunge into the Derwent.
She's adventurous and I'm getting dragged into this, but we get $5. We get $5 for this, so that's why we're doing it.
It was one of many ways to enjoy the water on the final day of the regatta. The Come and Try aimed at getting the next generation on board with the historic event.
A regatta is basically water-based activities, so we want to get people back involved with water sports.
A way to enjoy the water in a more conventional fashion also on offer. The jet skis once again a big hit.
We're up to about people doing their 5th or 6th go through, so we're very politely saying to them, back of the bus for you.
As in previous years, the greasy pole still proved a challenge.
It was really fun, but it was also cold in the water. Kind of hurts when you belly flop. Or back flop.
It's hoped these smiles will keep coming back. In its 186th year, the regatta faces increased competition, with organisers estimating crowds are down by 25% this year. With the proposed MAC Point 2.0 still just a plan, they say youth-focused activities are critical for the future. Confident it still has a place on the calendar.
We're actively planning for the 200th, so yeah, we strongly believe that regatta has a future in Tasmania.
Out on the water, a windy day put sailors' skill to the test in the Lipton Cup. Back on land, the sideshow alley and food options were a hit with young and old. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
No public holiday in the north, but the dust is settling on Party in the Paddock, with thousands of revellers packing up following a big 4 days. Tasmania Police on hand as the farewell committee, ensuring those behind the wheel left sober and safe.
Sore heads heading home a little worse for wear.
Pretty hungover, understandably. 4 nights.
Others are still feeling as fresh as a daisy after the party to stop all parties.
Music was pumping. Milky Chance was very good, but Rudimental did top it off for the end.
Best act, Milky Chance. Yep, I reckon they were elite.
Ticket holders are now in recovery mode after 4 days in the paddock, although it's looking a little different for these festival goers.
Probably go home, rest up, might go to the pub.
Sleep, food, on the way to Macca's at the moment to just egg and bacon, I reckon.
But before they could hit the hay, passing an early morning roadside breath testing blitz, the key to hitting the road. Tasmania Police nabbing 14 drink drivers over the 7-hour operation, also detecting 8 motorists under the influence of illicit drugs.
It's disappointing that people chose to drink and drive or took drugs and drove. It's not only a danger to them, it's a danger to the public.
Well, officers say they're disappointed with some road users. This year's crowd in general has been given the tick of approval.
Overall, the behaviour was excellent. At this stage, we've received no formal complaints. It made our job a lot easier.
A party well done. Victoria Eastoe, 7 Tasmania News.
And another successful local and large event, Launceston's 2024 Festivali, has been labelled one of the best yet, with close to 30,000 people from Tasmania, interstate and even overseas attending over the 3 days. Deputy Premier Michael Ferguson says the event has provided a significant economic boost to the state.
It's going to be in the millions of additional spend and activity in the north of Tasmania, but as I emphasised as well, those benefits will be felt throughout the regions.
I think we've got the mixture right between the 3 elements, which is the food, the beverage and the entertainment, that we have attractions here for people to come with families, and we've got the beautiful city park in order to host this event.
Planning is already underway for next year. Well, a high-tech program is giving Tasmanians better access to some of the state's rarest artefacts. QVMAG's new online database, providing researchers and students a behind-the-scenes view of some of the museum's 1.5 million items.
Bringing history out of the cabinet and onto our screens. QVMAG's 3D collection is spotlighting some of its rare finds.
It's wonderful to be able to finally bring some of these out that may not otherwise be on display at any point in time.
Painstakingly recorded in minute detail, the high-tech tool allows viewers to check out items from every angle.
And this is absolutely one of the cutting-edge world tools as we go forth for the institution.
Able to be accessed online, it's hoped it'll help little learners in their studies.
Be able to take that to the classroom is going to be a really wonderful thing for teachers as a resource.
The free program providing greater access to the museum's sought-after collection.
We get hundreds of requests every year from across the globe from researchers and just enthusiasts wanting to know what we have in our collection.
Whilst coming in here is obviously a very oral and visual experience, it's great to be able to have that from the iPad, flicking through, looking at those in-depth motions from anywhere in the world.
Still in its infancy, the catalogue has 50 online exhibits, just a tiny fraction of the museum's 1.5 million items. But plans are in the works to grow the archive.
And we're Australia's largest regional museum, so to be able to open the doors to that is a pretty fantastic thing.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Lions MP Mark Shelton has hit the road, embarking on his 3rd charity walk from Launceston to Hobart. He'll spend the next 4 days trekking 210 kilometres down the Midland Highway, supporting St Giles, a cause close to his heart. The Liberal politician has already raised more than $8,000 and is on track to surpass his previous record of $21,000 set in 2017.
The Tigers are a step closer to a WNCL three-peat, securing a home final with a 7-wicket win over Victoria this afternoon. Heather Graham, player of the match with 105 off 93 balls and a 169-run partnership with Nicola Carey.
We're hoping obviously put out a good performance today in this first game to secure that home final and take a little bit of pressure off the next game on Wednesday. So yeah, it's been really nice to be able to do that.
They have one more regular season match to play against Victoria on Wednesday. 17-year-old Launceston cricketer Aidan O'Connor has wrapped up his time in South Africa with the victorious Under-19 World Cup squad. The Aussies following in the men's footsteps, crushing India by 79 runs in the final overnight. Harjas Singh's half-century steering the Aussies to 7 for 253, a total India never looked like chasing down. Paceman Marley Beardman started with the ball, taking 3 for 15.
He's bowled it, Marley Beardman comes on and the change works.
The last Australian team to win the title is in 2010, skippered by Mitch Marsh and also included Josh Hazlewood. Ringarooma Football Club folded shortly after winning the 2008 Premiership, but the now defunct colours come back to life this year when East Coast play Perth in the annual NTFA Heritage Round. Also breathing fresh life into the facilities at Pyengana, population 96.
We're into year 7 of our Heritage Round that it's just captivated the footy community, particularly in the northeast, but even broader than that.
It's just a different feeling, I think. You know, it's sort of that finals intensity without being in that finals environment. So everyone sort of turns up and has a really good crack.
Also making the trip to Pyengana is Ringarooma's Old Bell, which was temporarily stolen when the club folded.
And the word was around the town that the culprits, if they were located, were likely to be lynched in the main street. So it did appear again anonymously, and we've got it, and it's got its own unique sound that's been recognised for years.
You can hear the bell for yourself at the Heritage match on April 13.
Good evening on a bad day for the Hobart Regatta Day. 23 degrees today, along with 23 in Burnie. Launceston reached 28 and Devonport 22. Temperatures generally above average. Fingal warmed up to 33 degrees today. St Helens, Cressy and Ouse 31. Grove, Smithton and Flinders Island 27. Friendly Beaches and Lyowini reached 26. King Island 23. Lowhead 22 and 20 the top at Strawn. We did have areas of fog and low cloud. They cleared this morning as thinner high clouds started to stream over the state during the day. Large areas of cloud and thunderstorms gathered over the tropical north again, and more over central parts. Some low cloud is being directed over parts of Queensland, New South Wales and southern WA. Tomorrow a cold front looms and should cross tomorrow evening. The troughs continue over the north with another splitting 2 high pressure cells. The winds northeast to northwest increasing to 30 knots before turning more westerly and reaching up to 35 knots over the southeast later. So in the southeast we have a gale warning. That's from waters between Wineglass Bay and southeast Cape. A strong wind warning for all remaining coastal waters tomorrow, along with the southwest lakes. Hobart, a high of 30 with showers developing. 23 the top for Adventure Bay, the winds picking up as well, and Tarraleah showers increasing, a high of 28. Launceston 29 with a shower developing, shower or 2 for Devonport, and 27 the high for Bridport, maybe an afternoon storm. 23 for Burnie with a shower, showers increasing in the west, Strawn 23, Marrawar 23 degrees. St Helens a high of 33, a possible storm, 33 as well for Swansea. Possible storm for Whitemark on Flinders, 31 the maximum. On Wednesday, a shower contracting to the southwest in the morning, but fine for the rest of the state. A little warmer on Thursday and fine apart from a light shower over the west. And on Friday, a similar weather pattern with west to northwest winds and an afternoon sea breeze. Sunny and warm in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, an afternoon storm after 37 in Melbourne. Sunny and 31 degrees forecast for Sydney, another shower in Brisbane and a possible storm on the way in Darwin. Little cloudy in Hobart, it's 19, 22 in Launceston right now and 20 in Devonport. Have to excuse the Monday-itis, Kim. I've been horse racing and regattaing over the weekend. You and all your young mates have been partying in paddocks, and today I sat down to watch the Super Bowl. Didn't make it much past half time. That usher put me to sleep. Certainly no match for Kiss at the MCG, I tell you.
I would have to agree. Can't beat Aussie sport. Thanks, Murph. Well, that is all your news for now. We'll have updates later. Thanks for joining us. Good night.